Live pictures right now, Waukegan Harbor, just north of Chicago. Police there, along with U.S. Naval Intelligence and the Coast Guard, spent hours searching Lake Michigan and the nearby shoreline for any sign of Seamus Gray. Surveillance video shows the sailor leaving a bar early Saturday morning. From there, the trail literally runs dry. We'll show you a picture of him in a little while. It's a similar fact pattern to victims of a possible serial killer dubbed the smiley face killer, known to operate not far from Waukegan in Chicago. Over the years, police have found at least 11 bodies removed from 11 different sections of the Chicago River and Lake Michigan, all with one similarity: 20 to 30-year-old victims who were last seen at events with alcohol, sometimes at bars. Karen Conti is here, attorney, host of the Karen Conti Show on our sister station WGN Radio in Chicago. All right, is the smiley face killer a myth, or is there real facts to back up that this is somebody out there taking advantage of people who if either drank too much or drugging them and then taking advantage of them?
Depends who you talk to. The FBI says there's no such thing as the smiley face murder, and that there are more than just 11 bodies in Chicago. They're more like 14, and they're probably close to 600 if you look over a 20-year period over 11 states. And these are young men, as you said, found in waterways usually after drinking or going to a party. There are other people who are convinced that it is the work of maybe not just one killer, but a group of killers. I don't know what the theory actually is, but there's some sort of ritualistic killing that involves these young men, very similar. They're mostly non-minorities. They're in college age or just over college age. They've been drinking at a bar. They've been at a liquor store. They've been at a party. And many times, which is very disturbing, they are found missing on a given day, and they are found in the water, say a week later, but the time of death was only one day. So there is this idea that they're being abducted and maybe held for a while before they're actually killed.
It's a terrifying concept when you think about it. Chicago police, each individual case will be investigated as a death. There's no investigation into a connection between these deaths. What is the smiley face connection?
Well, the smiley face apparently appeared as graffiti next to a large number of these boys over a 20-year period. So if they were dumped in a river, there'd be some sort of graffiti next to them. Now, the FBI will tell you that smiley face is the most popular graffiti that exists, so that it's just a coincidence. But again, I'm looking at these numbers, Leland, and they're astounding. I did a show on this February 5th. We've had 4 bodies since then. So this is ramping up in Chicago. And what's interesting is I don't hear the police talking about it. I don't hear most of the media talking about it. And I'm not sure why people aren't astounded by these numbers.
Yeah, you think about you as an attorney, us as journalists, police investigators are not trained to believe in coincidences. You're trained the opposite, right, to try and connect these disparate facts. The concept that you'd have this many young men disappear only to be found dead in exactly the same way, a week later, is confounding. Who's pushing this? Who is investigating? What has to change before, as you point out, there'd be some real investigative resources to put towards this?
Well, I think talking about it is going to do a lot. And that's why I've been talking about it, because if the parents aren't putting this together, if the police aren't putting this together, somebody needs to knock on their door and look at the similarities here. And, some of these boys, there were 7 or 8 of them who the cause of death was undetermined. So if it's not drowning is easy to determine. There's water in your lungs. So what was the cause of death? Was it ethanol, which is what a lot of them had in their system? Does that mean they overdrank? Does that mean they were injected with the drug? How did they get in such an intoxicated condition 2 miles to get into the Chicago River? How did they walk all the way there and fall in? It just doesn't make sense.
It's confounding. And now you have this young man who is a member of the armed forces, U.S. Navy sailor. He was a recruit and then in further training in Waukegan who disappeared. And it's a very, very similar fact pattern. Karen, we're going to keep talking about it. You do as well until we get to the bottom of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.